What's going on?
How long have you guys been here?
4 hours.
Oh my god, I just got to work.
4 hours. Yeah, and I left my keys in an Uber yesterday.
That's how tired she was.
No, Jules.
But making really good progress.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Great.
We're really talkative.
Yeah, I can tell.
Ken's like, I've had no good material from you because
You're so dumb.
you've been waking up at 5 a.m. every day.
I know.
But I also want to respect the fact that today's still a really busy day for you. Like with reaching out to the moderators, reaching out, I don't know, creative council, answering some of that stuff.
What do you got there?
This is how Lindsay being here makes me feel. I have a donut.
Who's here?
Lindsay is our San Francisco leader of Tuesdays
yes.
Together, and she is the sweetest. And she came and brought us donuts today because it's been a long week. So I just want to give you a hug.
Hi.
Yeah, what are you working on today?
Actually just messaging some people about building committee for ideas. For my group. Yeah. Really cool. Yeah, I've got a couple people on board. We're gonna meet next week. I'm gonna start a discussion on like who wants to do what and like feel out how much time everyone has. And just kind of like start handing out roles and brainstorming ideas. So
That's fantastic. That'll help too for you to just like take a little bit of that weight off.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's so valuable when you have the committee because it's a lot of work. It is. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I don't need to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, you do such a good job. And I know, like, I could see literally when you came here last time and you had organized everything and set it all up. And I'm like, it's a lot of work. So you can get other people involved and give them, like, recognition and ownership.
Yeah. Like, I think it just, like, helps elevate.
What is this?
Coconut and mango and
It's
strawberry,
mochi.
like,
It's so good.
is
So it's like a Japanese dessert, and on the outside it's mochi. It's like made out of rice flour, so it's sticky and chewy, and the
What's
inside
the
is
powder
ice
stuff?
cream.
Now, what'd you get for lunch?
Mint chocolate chip ice cream?
Wait, no, I asked you what'd you get for lunch.
Yeah, mint chocolate chip ice cream. This
Oh,
is
yeah,
just,
okay.
I want to tell a story. I'm just thinking of what story to tell. Hey guys, so today has been an exhausting whirlwind of an amazing day. I tried to throw a ton of words in there and I'm not really sure that was even in English. I got here at 5 a.m. and that's why I look like this. I'm very tired and a little disheveled, but that's okay. Ken's shaking his head being really polite. I wanted to talk about something in particular, and I was in a meeting with a bunch of different people who are from the corporate world. So all of them have had corporate careers in things like marketing, public relations, product building, development, things like that. And I was the only one in the room who had come from a creative industry. I'm a wedding photographer by trade, as you guys know, and I come to the table with a very different viewpoint from nearly everyone who I sit in a room with in a corporate setting. We were talking about different aspects of the startup world and business, and it got me thinking about how being a wedding photographer really prepared me to be in this environment. And so if you're listening to this and you are a photographer, a wedding photographer, or a creative entrepreneur, then this applies to you, because if you're building a business, you're not just doing one thing. You're not working in one vertical or one aspect of a company, meaning you're not trained in how to do advertising specifically. Maybe you were in a past life, and if that's you, this isn't what I'm referencing. I mean, when you run a business, you have to know how to do everything, right? You're not just a photographer. You're a photographer who also runs a business, which means you have to be able to do marketing, advertising, accounting, being able to be the communications director and coordinate emails, right? You have to schedule your meetings for the most part. You have to create content. You're a content marketer. And then a lot of times that's just within your job. That doesn't include all the other things you do outside of being a creative. It got me thinking about how many of those skill sets we develop when we're running a business, because we have to, because ultimately in order to be successful, you have to learn how to share about your business on social media. You have to learn how to build a brand, right? You have to figure out how to navigate tough conversations with clients and how to communicate effectively what you want to get across to somebody else, or how to work in an environment that maybe makes you uncomfortable. In the last week, especially, and in today's meeting, I kept thinking back to weddings that I photographed where I'm trying to wrangle a group of very rambunctious groomsmen. Not that that's ever happened, but
Never happened?
never.
Rambunctious groomsmen?
Never. Where they
My God.
don't want to listen to, hands in pockets and stand up straight and straighten your tie. It's just not really in their objective for the moment. And how you get a group of people to kind of come along with you and follow through on your idea, or to listen to your idea, to hear you out. And so what's interesting about wrangling a bunch of groomsmen is it's really not that different than being in an executive meeting. It really isn't. Like, it's the exact same thing. Everybody has something else on their mind that they're worrying about, they're stressing about that day. Everybody else has their own objective, something they want to get across, a point they want to consider talking about or joking about as you're trying to get them to stand in line. And you have a goal that you have to reach also. And so I was thinking about this in my meeting, not saying that everyone in the meeting was like a rowdy groomsman, but I am saying it was a very passionate meeting about brand in general, and we were all fighting for what we wanted. And it kind of came back to this idea of you want to be able to, whether it's in business or in life or in a meeting like the one I was in, you have to be able to look for an avenue where if you achieve what you want to achieve, it also will help everyone else in the room. And that's the only way to get everyone to go along with your idea. So what you essentially do with groomsmen is I'll say something like, I know you guys want to go drink, you want to go have some food, you don't want to be standing here in the hot sun in the middle of July at the Chesapeake Bay, I get it. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this short, sweet, and have a lot of fun, but I need you guys to listen to me, and I need you to get on board, because we want to create these beautiful photographs for them, but I also want you guys to go party. Don't you want to go party? And they're all like, yes, we really want to go party, that's what we want to do. And so they listen, and they get in line, and they move faster together, and we get the photographs done, and they can go do what they wanted to do, and I accomplish what I need to accomplish for that couple. And so in this meeting, it was the same thing. It was identifying all the different people in the room and what they were trying to accomplish. One person really wanted a design to look a certain way, and another person really wanted a certain aspect to be included in the brand story. And quite frankly, I was really focused on Rising Tide Society and how we're represented in this entire conversation. And so if I was able to pull aspects from each viewpoint and bring them together and drive us forward, it's more likely that I'll accomplish my goal. Yeah.
Yesterday in the vlog, or maybe 2 days ago, or something like that.
Yeah.
You talked about the difference between being a leader and being a celebrity.
Yeah. We can talk about this all day.
Do you have any more thoughts on that?
Yes, I do. So there really is a difference between being a leader and being a celebrity. If you've been watching the vlog, I talked a little bit about this, but it's been something that a lot of people have spoken on, I'm really passionate about. And it goes back to that idea that a leader's role is not to bring everyone to focus on themselves, but to ultimately empower other people to lead. Leaders build other leaders. When is the Kent Heckle vlog happening? Do we know? What, Kent, where are you going, Kent?
It's a slow pan.
Kent, it's a slow pan away from my direct question. Oh, and there it goes again.
Sorry, what was the question?
When is the Kent Heckle vlog coming? Back.
There's one being edited right now.
I'm so excited for this, guys. We've wanted Kent to do this for a while. You should
it makes
see him.
me so anxious.
No, but it's important. It's good.
All right, tell me about having an assistant or a second shooter.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
advice for that?
Absolutely. So whether it's getting an assistant or working with a second shooter, I think it's all about communication and expectations. That's everything. So for example, when I first started in my business, I had never second shot before, ever. I didn't even know I really had no idea what I was doing. So on my first second shooting job, I photographed this wedding. I was so incredibly excited. And I went home and I edited one of the photographs and I posted it because I was so excited and I was so proud of, my first second shooting job. Now, I didn't know that it was a big faux pas, like huge faux pas for a second shooter to ever publish an image that a professional photographer has not already published or given you permission to publish. I just was like, I photographed this and I'm so proud of it and I want to share it. And the photographer I was working with was the kindest woman ever, and she just gave me a call and she's like, hey, I know you didn't know this, but when you second shoot, basically you have to kind of understand the expectations of the primary photographer. And for me, she goes, I'm trying to get this wedding published, so I don't want any images out until we get it accepted for publication. I had no idea. I was completely mortified. I felt horrible. But she made a really good point, and she said, I failed to communicate that to you, and I'm actually really sorry. I didn't mean to put you in this position. And that moment kind of stuck with me. And so whenever I'm working with someone and I'm bringing them onto the team, whether it's as an assistant, as a contractor, as a second photographer, or anything, it goes back to my responsibility, your responsibility, if this is you, to communicate effectively to that person, to set them up for success, meaning tell them, what your expectations are. For the most part, like if it's a second shooter or a contractor, you need an actual contract. That's something I would recommend, because again, where do you put your expectations? Where do you put that communication in a document? If it's something even more casual, whether it's just supporting, giving mentorship, any kind of relationship in business, communication and expectations are everything. And so for me, looking back, had I known, I obviously never would have posted that photograph, but I didn't know. And so it was something that when I started bringing on second shooters and training them, I was super clear about the fact that, this was my stance on whether or not they could repost their images. This was my stance on when they could repost their images, right? This was how I wanted them to credit me in their blog post. I also, a lot of primaries in the industry will not credit second photographers. I do. And on my blog posts, I always did. And I know it's counter industry. It's not something that is normal. And I don't know if it necessarily should be. I just didn't feel right ever posting someone else's photograph and having it associated with my name without proper credit to that.
Why do you think that is?
I think because honestly, I think it's twofold. One, I think that I was really proud in the images that I captured, and I wanted them to feel really proud of the work that they did. And so I knew that ensuring they had proper credit, it gives you pride, it gives you recognition in your work, and we all deserve recognition in our work. But also, and this is just the honest truth, I know that a lot of people are nervous about second photographers or assistants, like growing a business and then like taking business from that person. That's always been a fear in the industry. Like, why would I train someone to do what I do? Like, then they're going to take that from me. And that was never my concern. I really, really believed that I was working from day one, and only would work with other second photographers that I wanted to mentor, and I wanted to see them succeed, and I wanted them to flourish in business. And so crediting them on the blog was a great way to get 3,000 people to see their name with each wedding that we shot together. And so they would show up to the next wedding, and that's so self-motivating when you're like, I know if I do a good job, I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna create great images. They're gonna see it's a second angle from Natalie's. They're gonna see that I shot the groomsmen beforehand. They're gonna know that I captured this second perspective. And for them to feel that, but also know that they're going to get their name on the blog and featured throughout the day on Instagram stories and whatever else I was creating, I always tried to highlight them and always tried to put them in the overall storytelling that we did. It was just the most honest way to say thank you.
Do you think that second shooters are now becoming more respected as like a part of the team instead of just like an assistant with a camera?
Mine always were a part of the team. So I don't know, like industry standard, it just varies. But we even had a name, like we joke, on an early vlog, we were called Team Sock Bun because Maryland summer weddings are disgusting, they're hot, they're humid, and so we'd literally roll all our hair up in a sock on top of our heads, and that was the best way to handle that weather condition. But no, those girls became my family. And they're not girls anymore. It's been so long, but like 8 years ago, like those young women really became my family and walked through so much with me. And it never was just a job for me. It was always so much more than that. And so having a team where I felt like I could trust them, and I'm not just talking about business, I'm talking about life, that I could be there for them. It's just like that type of relationship is so special. It just like gets me emotional because I remember the first day they like shot in RAW, and I remember the first day they like, I'll shot with a telephoto lens, and I'll never forget the first time Maddie was assisting for me forever, and then I was like, Maddie, I need you to go up to the balcony. It's this Catholic church in Annapolis, St. Mary's, and I was like, I really need you to go up to the balcony and shoot. She's like, you want me to shoot? And I'm like, yes, I want you to shoot. You can do this. And like set up the camera. She runs up, and she got beautiful images the whole time. And now she's like dominating the Annapolis wedding market, and her business is exploding. And she did all of that herself. But just to be able to watch her do that, I think has been honestly like one of the greatest joys. When you're in small business, especially, like the people make the business what it is, and ultimately what it becomes.